The last couple of videos we've been looking at HTML, which gives us a structure to our website. Today we're going to be looking at CSS, which is a different language, but it's always like related to HTML, and it lets you change the look of your website, the style of it. So you'll know what CSS is by the end of this lesson, and then you'll know how to change the color, the background color. So by color here I mean text color, the background color, the font size, and the alignment of the web page's text or images or whatever as well. And we're going to be completing these tasks here. Right, so CSS, it stands for Cascading Style Sheet. Where it goes is in the head of the website. So up until now we've only had the title, so that's like the little bar at the top there, go in the head of the website, and everything else is right in the body. But we're going to put CSS here. Now if you just plonked it in there, it wouldn't work perfectly. What you need to do is add these things called style tags. So these are technically speaking HTML, and what it does is it says here's the opening one, here's the closing one, anything in between here is CSS. So it's expecting you to write CSS. If you actually write HTML in between these two, it won't work. It lets you change language on the same document effectively. So here is how, like, the basic structure of CSS. What you've got is, this is what you want. I call it the selector. I don't know if that's the real name, but it lets you select what you're gonna change on the screen. So if you write body, that will change the entire body of the website, so the anything in between here, so it'll change the whole website basically. But you can be more specific. You can just say just change the H1 headings, so the largest headings, or just change H4. There's even an H7, it doesn't even have a size. This is why, it's so you can put it here and use it. Or you can change paragraphs, lists, whatever, you can write them here. So that's the structure out of the way. We're going to look at the 5 basic rules of CSS. The first one is color, and the first thing we need to speak about is the spelling of it. Now if you spell it with a U, like everyone in Britain spells it, it won't work, because it needs to be the American spelling, and they don't have a U. So you need to spell it without the U here, or it won't recognize it and nothing will happen. Now you should, I forgot to mention, where was I? So it's not just the selector here, you need these curly brackets, right? Any in the curly brackets are going to be your rules. So obviously the first one's color here. Where was I? Yeah, after the colon here, so we're saying the color rule, you write what color you want it to be, followed by a semicolon. If you don't put that semicolon in, it will give you problems. Not for this line, it will give you problems in the next line, and the next line won't work. So you need to put the semicolon in. It'll break your entire site basically if you don't put it in. But the text might still be read, it just will break everything else. But here you can put all sorts of colors, like basic colors like blue and green and yellow, or you can be more specific and say dark green, you can say light green, and you can say khaki, light khaki, dark khaki. You get weird names like Misty Rose. You can also use hex codes, which gives you even more colors. It's a bit weird, but if you want to see these and where you can get more colors, you can just click this link here, and here's all the different like colors you can type in and use, as well as their codes. That's just the named colors. There is more. These are what we consider web safe colors. I think it means every web browser can represent them, but if you want more specific colors, you can go to this link here, and then you can type in what you want, and it'll give you a little code, and then if you copy that code complete with a hashtag, it will let you it will show everything as that color. So yeah, there'll be an opportunity for you to play about with different colors. That is where you get all the different ones. So you can look find your favorite fancy named one if you want, and just put that in after the color, and it should work. Right, we've also got background color, again without the U. Now there's two ways you can use background color, right? Most of the time it's going to be with the body. So if you put background color on the body, it's going to make the entire body of the website that color. So basically the entire website. Anything that doesn't have text or images will be light blue. But if you attach it to a paragraph, you can make it so just like, it'll kind of look like a little box. It will make anything behind the text, the paragraph text, as light blue. Now I realise my head is in the way of what it's meant to do, so give me 2 seconds. That's what it's meant to look like. So if you did it as the body, the entire website is going to be light blue. But if you do it as a paragraph, just that bit of text will be light blue. This is quite useful if you wanted to make if you wanted like a big border, like for a heading of a website. Like you could put H1 and then go background color, whatever, and it'll look like a banner going across the top of your website. So bear that in mind. Right. We've also got the font. Now if you just write font, it won't work. You've got to write font family. Again, you can do this for the whole body, or you can do P and H1 and just make your heading this brush script MT, this fancy one if you want. There's also font size, and just put PT, it stands for point after, and you just really got to play about with that and see how you, if you're happy with whatever it looks like. It's kind of hard to judge the size of the font. The different fonts there's only so many fonts you can get with when you're designing a web page, at least built in, and these are all of those fonts. There isn't really any other ones that you can use. I know Microsoft Word has a lot of fonts, but they won't work. So most of them you might see in Microsoft Word, and you might be familiar with, but yeah, just be aware. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You've only got 10 basic ones. Right, last one is alignment. So this will align the text to the left hand side of the website. This is default. If you just want it on the left hand side, so everything coming down like that, that's just default. And just like Word, it's kind of what you'd expect to see there when you play out of alignment there. If you want everything on the right side, gross. Don't know why you'd want everything down on the right hand side. That would be so bizarre. If you want anything centered, or justify, which who knows what justify is, it's just fancy centered, who really knows. Bear in mind the spelling of center needs to be American as well, and you need to have the E followed by the R. If you spell it this way, it won't work. Even when I was making the tasks for this lesson, I misspelled this and I could not figure out what was wrong, and it was this. So if you are really struggling and you cannot figure out why your website won't align like you want, check the spelling of this. It's caught me so many times, so yeah, just be aware of that. Also, now it says text align, but that's misleading because it also aligns your images, audio and video as well. So if you just did, it's not going to keep your images to the side, it will make your images centered. So, well, this is just showing that you can combine the rules really. What I'd maybe consider this for as a template. So if you were working through the tasks that we're doing now, or even the coursework later or whatever, you can come back to this PowerPoint. These are the basics that you need to know. This is everything that you need to know, and with just one example of each. It's just showing that you can combine the CSS rules. So here we've got a red color with a blue background, and a certain font, blah blah blah. It's just showing that they're not, you can combine them really to make unique looks, or awful looks in this case. Right. The tasks are all here. If you've signed into Vepo, I think you can actually just click on the link and it will work. I'm not sure, we'll find out together. Oh, it just takes you to the team, right? Okay. Right, so if you scroll down to the bottom, and there's 3 different tasks. Now it looks like a lot, but the first one is kind of like it's like a step-by-step guide on how to do it, and the second one is just the same thing, but it's like a challenge, and then if you can do that, it's the same idea here, it's just different colors and that. But I'll quickly go through it. The first one I might actually go through step by step. I can't even remember what I've written here. Right, oh yeah, I remember now. So we have the HTML has been done for you. This lesson is just about CSS. So everything we're going to write is going to be in between these 2 tags. The website, the HTML has been done, and we're doing our cat adoption website. So if we run this, here is our cat. Somebody told me every cat is called Luna. So here's Luna the cat. If you want to see it in a bigger screen, or if for some reason, if this button isn't working, I've noticed with REPL that's been happening with me, like it just keeps saying loading and you can't click. Just click on this and then it will give you in a new tab, and then you can just refresh it as you make changes. So the final page needs to look like this, right? Not the prettiest page, but just roll with it. So we've got a light blue background and we've got these colors here. Step at a time. So task 1, it says inline CSS. Don't worry about that. That'll make sense later, right? In between the style tags, add the following CSS to make changes to the whole body of the website. So you've just got to do this, copy and paste. You can just go Control C and then Control V in between here. Just indent it because it looks horrific. It makes me upset. And if you run that, there you go. It's already made the whole page blue, light blue, and every font Helvetica. Helvetica is apparently the perfect font by font enthusiasts, so I've heard. So that's why we're using that. Now let's look at task 2. Create a new set of brackets for H1 like below. So you can copy and paste that. Now it's not done, right? What we need to do is say the color should be dark red with a font size of 24 point. Now I'll put it in bold so like it appears, it's like so it clicks what you have to do. So if we go to H1 here, and we're going to write color. Oh, need to spell it American way, and then you go color. And it's dark red, no spaces. Spaces will not work. I don't think capitals. I don't think it's picky with capitals. I think you can. Yeah, I think you can just do it like that. It doesn't really care. And then remember the semicolon, or you'll break your site. And if you run that, this is in dark red now. That's worked. And then if you want to see a big screen, just refresh it. There you go. What else? Oh, font size of 24 point. I forgot about that. So let's go font, and remember the hyphen in between. Font size 24 point. Oh, this happened before. I think it's about to delete some of my work. No, it's alright. Okay. Right. Did it even change? Or oh, it's this bit at the top. Sorry. Right. We'll take that out. Not really. I think it might be 24 point. I think it went up the tiniest little bit, like the tiniest bit. Right. Create a new set of brackets for the P tag like above. Make the paragraph text blue with a font size of 12. So what you have to do is under here, make sure you close off the curly brackets every time. And you pick what you want. So we want paragraphs, so it will change all the paragraphs in the main page. So there's actually 2 paragraphs. It will change both of them at the same time. So you write P, and then you do that. You can just write it there. I like to take a new line. It looks nicer that way. And then we're going to go color blue semicolon, and then font size 12. Run that, and that's that. Create a new set of brackets for the H2 tag, right? Make the heading any color you want. Okay, so like I was saying before, well, first of all we'll do H2, and then you just go get the color, and then have I sent a link there? Yeah, the link's there. So the color names, that was dumb, stay on page. Pick any color you want, really, or there was the link on the PowerPoint to get the hex code if you want to get really specific. But yeah, for the last bit, just make the second heading any color you want. I'll go with antique white. So let's have a look here. Run that. There you go. That's it. And that's it. Now the other tasks are very similar. They're more like just like challenges. So what I've got is, again, the website's done. Like the HTML's done anyway. So we've got Bessie here, and you have to make it look like this by the end. So notice how the background color there is, it's only attached to the heading. That's what I was talking about earlier, if you want to make this effect like a banner. And everything's centered as well, so that's something that we didn't use last lesson. So that is the text align rule. But what I've done is, in case you forget, here is the template of the rules. Now please delete the underscores, do not keep the underscores. So just put body p h1 whatever you need here, put whatever color name you need here as well, and then delete the ones you don't need. You don't want them, if you don't want a rule there, just delete them and keep it default. And what you've got to do is just follow, so the whole page should have a bisque background color, Verdana font, and be center aligned. So copy and paste this. I'm not going to do it, but copy and paste all that, and then just go background color bisque, font family Verdana, text align center, and then do the same for the other things here. Once you finish that one, there's the one here, same idea really, exactly the same idea actually. So we want to make this website here something different. I've centered the heading, and then everything is left aligned here, so have a think about that. One last bit is add the style tags. So I haven't added the style tags here. You've just to put the style at the top here, at the bottom there, and then just follow the rules like the previous page. Right, hopefully this video was useful. Like I said earlier, if you get stuck, use the PowerPoint kind of as a guide, and keep referring back to it so you've got all your rules here. Right, thank you for watching.